Hey everybody, this is James with wstrades.com. Want to bring you an update here on mRNA stock or Moderna. Found an article here on the Motley Fool and it says, is it too late to buy Moderna stock? Moderna shares have skyrocketed and so has its revenue. Shares of Moderna have soared more than 300% since the beginning of the year, and much of that gain has happened over the past 2 months. Earlier this year, investors watched Moderna become profitable after 1 full quarter of coronavirus vaccine sales. Now they're betting on the potential authorizations of a booster shot and the vaccine's use by younger age groups. The picture ahead looks bright for Moderna, but if you haven't yet bought shares of this innovative biotech company, today's share price might be scaring you off. After the gains, is it too late to get in on the Moderna growth story? Let's take a close look. First, a little background. Moderna and rival Pfizer are the top 2 sellers of coronavirus vaccines in the U.S. They've each signed contracts for 500 million doses to be delivered through the first quarter of next year. Meanwhile, the Moderna vaccine and Pfizer vaccine have fully vaccinated 67 million and 99 million Americans, respectively. The companies also have signed major deals with other countries worldwide. Now let's focus on Moderna's financials. The vaccine, the company's very first commercialized product, generated $1.2 billion in profit during its first full quarter on the market. Considering current orders, the biotech expects the vaccine to bring in $20 billion in revenue this year. It owns full rights to the vaccine, so it doesn't have to share profits with a partner. Beyond profit and revenue, another plus is Moderna's cash level. The company has built up a whopping $15 billion in cash. This is great because it means it has funds to support its hefty pipeline, but more about the pipeline later. So now the big question is, will Moderna generate billions in recurrent revenue from the coronavirus vaccine? It's possible. Experts say the coronavirus is here to stay, and considering the length and depth of the pandemic, governments probably will be proactive about ordering plenty of vaccine doses for their citizens. CEO Stéphane Bancel said earlier this year that the market could be greater next year. He's right. That's because by next year, regulators might expand the use of the vaccine to teens and children, and boosters also could be part of the vaccination schedule. Moderna recently requested U.S. authorization for a 3rd shot of its vaccine at a lower dosage as a booster. The company also is working on strain-specific boosters. If these authorizations come through, vaccine orders might be bigger. A booster means each person would need a total of 3 doses rather than just 2-dose primary series. An authorization in younger people means a broader population to vaccinate. Of course, it's impossible to predict exactly how long vaccine revenue growth may last, but we might imagine coronavirus vaccination becoming much like the flu shot, an annual routine. If that happens, Moderna may generate significant recurrent revenue. It is also working on a combined coronavirus/flu vaccine candidate. This could be a major product down the road. Right now, Moderna relies on the coronavirus vaccine for revenue and profit, but another potential blockbuster could be on the horizon. The company will begin a phase 3 trial for its CMV vaccine candidate this year. CMV is a common virus that's most dangerous for those who are pregnant or have weakened immune systems. There currently isn't a vaccine for it. And Moderna has 37 programs in the pipeline. 22 are in clinical trials. Its programs use mRNA technology, the same technology that powers the coronavirus vaccine. This doesn't mean every program will be successful, but the vaccine offered us evidence this approach can indeed work in humans. So to sum up, Moderna has billions of dollars in revenue and profit right now, and it has many candidates that could fill up its product portfolio in the future. Of course, there's always the risk of failure for one or more programs in trials. This is a risk every biotech and pharma company faces. Today, this amazing growth story may look costly. Moderna stock has passed Wall Street's average 12-month price forecast by more than $100 and trades at 14 times forward earnings estimates. That doesn't seem excessive, but the multiple is up from less than 4 earlier this year. Is it too late to buy Moderna shares? If you're ready to hang on to them for the long term, they are still a buy today, but I would expect gains to slow at some point. So you may not make as much on the investment as those who bought before the pandemic and sold at the end of last year, for example. Those investors, though, were rewarded for taking a big risk. Early in the pandemic, we didn't know whether Moderna's vaccine candidate would be successful. Today, risk is a lot lower. Profit is in the billions, and we understand the potential of mRNA in vaccine development. So we're paying a higher price to join in on the second chapter of this exciting adventure. But it's very possible we're still at the beginning of the Moderna story. So let's take a look at some price action here on mRNA or Moderna. And they're pulling back nicely today, actually below the 21-day exponential moving average. You can see here that back on August 30th, they dipped below. Looks like they had a gap down below the 21-day EMA, but they rallied nicely to get right back above it. And then back here on August 16th, they had another dip below, had a pretty big gap down there, and then the drivers drove the price right back up. Another gap down, but then a big bull candle here to recover it and keep it above the 21-day EMA. So this 21-day EMA definitely looks very important to the price action here on Moderna. It's dipped below there a few times in recent past, but then it's been able to rally and stay above it. So I believe this is a very important price point. I mean, we're below it right now. Moderna is down 3.22% on the day. Zooming in here, tomorrow, if we can see the buyers step back in and start to drive this thing back above the 21-day EMA, I believe it's going to rally up again and try to test this 460, 465 level here. If we continue to see selling pressure on Moderna, this thing could drop down. You can see back on August 16th, it went all the way down to around that 350 level. So I believe if we see more selling pressure here in the short term, it's going to go down and possibly test around this 365 level, maybe even down to this 348 level. But if the bulls step back in, get this thing above the 21-day EMA, I think it's going to stay afloat above the 21-day EMA in the short term. So I think the price right now is at a critical point, and we will see, which way the market is going to send this stock. You can see the recent high up of around 500, and then the recent low here of around 350. So it's a pretty wide range right there of about $150 that this thing has been chopping around in all the way back to around August 9th when it had this crazy surge here and this crazy candle here on the daily chart. You can see the RSI is pretty much centered right now at 50.36, and the stock has been riding above the zero line on the TTM squeeze histogram here for quite a while, going all the way back to September 9th. Actually, this thing was squeezing for 2 days, and then it fired to the upside on September 9th, and it's been above that zero line since then. So almost the entire month of September here, this thing has been riding above the zero line on the TTM squeeze histogram. So I'll continue to keep you guys updated on mRNA or Moderna. Please like this video. Please also subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, hit that notification bell. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this. Talk to you soon.